Tonight, when you walk into a party, you're going to do something you've done 10,000 times before. You won't plan it. You won't feel it happen. Your eyes will sweep the room in less than a second, and before you've said a single word to anyone, your brain will have already picked out the exits, scanned every face, and quietly decided where you feel safest standing. You'll think you're just looking for a friend. You're not. You're running a program that's older than language itself. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it environmental scanning, and it happens every single time you cross a threshold into a new space. But here's the strange part. You've been doing this since before you could walk, and you still can't turn it off. So why does your brain do this? And why does it happen so fast that you never even notice? To understand it, you have to go back. Not centuries, not even to the first cities. You have to go back to open grassland, 500,000 years ago, when your ancestors were neither the fastest animal around, nor the strongest. They were slow, soft-skinned, and easy to kill. Survival didn't come from strength. It came from information. The humans who lived long enough to have children were the ones who walked into a clearing and instantly knew where danger could come from and where they could retreat to if it did. This idea has a name in psychology. It's called prospect refuge theory, first proposed by geographer J. Appleton in the 1970s. Appleton studied why certain landscapes feel instinctively pleasant to humans, and he found a pattern. People consistently prefer spaces that offer a wide view outward, what he called prospect, combined with a place to retreat and feel hidden, what he called refuge. A hillside with a cave, a forest edge overlooking a valley, a porch facing an open yard. Sound familiar? It should, because that exact preference is still running inside you right now, just wearing modern clothes. Think about the last time you walked into a coffee shop. Did you sit facing the door with your back to a solid wall? Most people do, without ever choosing to. Environmental psychologist Robert Summer spent years studying exactly this in the 1960s, watching how people arrange themselves in cafeterias, libraries, and waiting rooms. He found the same pattern over and over. Given the choice, people gravitate towards seats that let them see the entrance while keeping their own back protected. Summer called this behavior part of what he termed personal space regulation, but underneath the academic language, it's something much older. It's a body still bracing for a predator that hasn't existed for 100,000 years. Here's where it gets stranger. This scanning isn't happening in the thinking part of your brain. It's not a decision. It happens in a small almond-shaped structure deep in your skull called the amygdala. And neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping exactly how it works. Ledoux discovered that visual information can reach the amygdala through what he called a low road, a shortcut that bypasses conscious thought entirely. Your eyes see the room. Your amygdala evaluates it for threat. And all of this finishes before the rational, thinking part of your brain even receives the picture. In other words, you feel safe or unsafe in a room before you're consciously aware you've looked at it. Isn't that unsettling? You walk in, you smile, you say hello, and none of that is actually the first thing that happened. The first thing that happened was silent, automatic, and completely outside your control. This is why certain rooms feel wrong the second you enter them, even when nothing is visibly out of place. A missing exit, a too narrow hallway, a stranger standing slightly too close to the door. You can't always explain the discomfort, because the part of you that noticed isn't the part of you that talks. And this circuitry didn't disappear just because the modern world got safer. It adapted. Instead of scanning for lions in the grass, it now scans for social threats. Who looks unfriendly? Who's watching you? Whether the group by the window seems open or closed off. Your ancient threat detector didn't retire when humans built houses with locks. It just changed its targets. There's a reframe hiding inside all of this. You've probably assumed that walking into a room and instantly forming a gut feeling about it is a strange personal quirk, or maybe even a symptom of anxiety. But it isn't unusual. It isn't a flaw. It's one of the oldest and most consistently observed behaviors in human psychology. Present in nearly every culture researchers have studied, the version of you that feels a flicker of unease in an unfamiliar space is running the exact same software that kept your ancestors alive long enough to become your ancestors. What's fascinating is how architects and designers eventually caught on to this, whether or not they read the research. Look at why certain restaurants feel more comfortable than others. The best-loved booths are almost always against a wall, facing the room. Grand hotel lobbies almost always place seating with a clear line to the entrance. Even stadiums are built with prospect and refuge baked in. An open field to watch, solid stands at your back. Nobody consciously designed most of these spaces around a half-million-year-old survival instinct. They just noticed, generation after generation, which rooms made people want to stay. So the next time you walk into somewhere new, pay attention, just once, to what your body does before your mind catches up. Notice where your eyes go first. Notice which seat pulls at you. Notice whether you feel yourself relax or tighten before you've even spoken to another person. You'll find the pattern almost immediately, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. It happens at job interviews. It happens on first dates. It happens the moment you step into a crowded subway car and feel yourself gravitate toward the corner instead of the middle. It's the same behavior, expressed 1,000 different ways, running quietly underneath every room you'll ever walk into for the rest of your life. And maybe that changes how you think about your own instincts. The discomfort you feel in certain spaces isn't randomness. It isn't overthinking. It's a message sent from a part of your brain that has been protecting humans since long before anyone thought to write anything down. Tonight, when you walk into that party, you'll still do the thing you've done 10,000 times before. Your eyes will sweep the room. Your amygdala will finish its silent verdict before your smile even reaches your face, and somewhere in the back of your mind, an ancestor who never saw a single electric light will nod in quiet approval. You won't think you're just looking for a friend anymore. You'll know exactly what you're really doing.